Hi everyone and welcome to this new video where I'm going to reply to a question that some of you might have, which is, does the use your ear method also work for minor keys? Short answer, yes, it works 100%. So you can apply everything we teach in the use your ear method also to minor keys and also to modes. Before moving on with this video and giving you the more in-depth answer, please leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel if you want to support us in creating more free content like this. And then I invite you to check out our free workshop. You can register to it by clicking on the link in the description section below. It's a totally free online workshop that includes a ton of valuable content about ear training. You will get an overview of the use your ear method. It also includes clear, in-depth explanations about the most important scientific findings related to music cognition and related to how our perception of musical pitch really works, so that you can understand what exercises to avoid, why to avoid them. And lastly, by following our guidelines, you will be able to assess your current level, and based on that, you will be given practical direction and exercises to practice with that are tailored to your specific situation and to your current level. So it's a goldmine for anyone who's interested in ear training, and it's totally free for now. So don't wait, click the link in the description section below and get free access to it. Okay, back to the main topic of this video. I understand why you might have some questions about whether the use your ear method could be applicable also to minor keys or not. On this channel, I talk a lot about major keys, about having a mental representation of the major key, about singing the major scale and thinking about the major scale when recognizing notes and chords, etc. And so you might be wondering, oh, well, my favorite songs are in minor. Will this method help me out and be applicable to these songs too that I like the most and that are in minor keys? Again, the answer is yes, you can apply the use your ear method and everything you learn in the use your ear method to minor keys. Also, there's no problem whatsoever in doing that. Indeed, included in the method, there's also a part on the minor keys, but more on that later. So I just want to let you know why I talk a lot about major keys and why our method starts by working on major keys. So if you start our course, you start working on major keys. And I want you to have a clear idea of why we made that decision and why we think it's best and why we see it's best for most students to start working on major keys. Well, there are a few reasons why this is the case. First of all, the tonic of the major key has a very clear and obvious, let's say, sensation of rest, of total resolution. So again, forming a mental representation of the tonality and feeling the sensations of the notes, especially the sensation of the tonic note, in the beginning is very important. And starting on the major key facilitates students to recognize the tonic and also to keep the tonic in mind. And it's easier to familiarize with the sonic sensation of the tonic of the major key because it's very obvious and it's more clear. It's a clearer sensation to feel the tonic of the major key compared to the tonic of the minor key, especially if we're talking about a natural minor key. If we're talking about a harmonic minor key, well, the tonic there is more obvious. The minor tonic has a feeling of rest, kind of like the major tonic note in a major key, but harmonic minor keys are not super common. They are common, but not like a major key or a natural minor key. And this comes to the next point. The concept to understand is this. When you actually work on familiarizing yourself with the major key, so understanding the sonic sensation of scale degrees, of chords, of whatever musical element is in the major key, you're also indirectly working on the natural minor key because these two keys have the same structure. So to make a simple example, if you take any major key and you start singing the scale in ascending or descending order from the 6th degree of the major key, you actually have a natural minor scale. You're actually singing a natural minor scale. So this is an important part and it shows how these two things are related. And you know, this happens a lot in your training when you're actually working on something, you're also indirectly working on something else, because there are many concepts in music theory that are relative to each other. So this is one example, and it's an important one to understand, because major keys and natural minor keys are not separated boxes. They are the same thing, really. It's just looking at the same thing from two different angles. Of course, when working on real music, we might perceive that a song is in a major key and another is in the natural minor key, because the harmony and the melodies in the song emphasize the tonic of the major key in the first case, or either emphasize the tonic of the natural minor key in the second case. So this is why we have a differentiation of, okay, this song is in major and this song is in minor, okay? Because on a perceptual level, we can feel whether we are emphasizing the tonic of the major key or the tonic of the relative minor key. But really, you can even consider the tonic of the minor key as being the 6th degree of a relative major key. And this actually helps our students a lot when facing real music, because you limit the options and you call the same degrees with the same names. It's important because the same degrees have the same sonic sensation. And so if you always call them with the same name, you associate the name with the sensation. And of course, making associations like that helps a lot in recalling notes faster, in recognizing notes faster, and also chords faster, etc. Anyway, I hope this point came through. And if you have some questions about what I've just said, please leave your comments down below. Another question that some of you might have related to this topic is, does the Use Your Ear course also include exercises and explanations about minor keys? Yes, absolutely yes. It includes a lot of exercises about minor keys, like recognizing notes and chords in minor keys, etc. The important thing to understand is that they come a little later in the course, so they are not the first exercise that you will find in the course, for the reason mentioned before. Because we want to make sure that students are proficient in the major keys, which is easier for them, before they move on and work on the minor keys. It's important to understand that after you've developed some first skills in the major key, when you move on and you go work on the minor keys, it's not like restarting from zero. So they are not two different boxes, okay? Most of the skills you've developed by working on the major keys, you can apply it directly on the minor keys. So you don't have to start from zero again. And this is important to understand, because some students don't realize that until they are working inside the course. So they think that, oh, I'm working on the major keys, I'm getting better at them, but then I would have to start from zero again when I go work on the minor keys. That's not at all the case. So most of the skills you get by working on the major keys in earlier units of the course, you carry on and you can apply right away while working on the minor keys later on in the course. And if you have some questions about this, leave your comments down below and I'll be happy to reply. Well, a last hypothetical question I would like to reply to is, could I start working on the minor keys instead of starting from the major keys? Well, yes, you can do that. There's no problem whatsoever. And we have had some students who did that and they were able to do everything and improve and make progress pretty much as every other student without experiencing any major problem whatsoever. So in creating the course, we had to make some decisions, and starting with the major key was by far the best decision, and we're still convinced about that. We have real proof that this is better than starting with minor keys, but you can absolutely start on minor keys if you want. You would have to, let's say, adjust and customize a bit your path. It's not an impossible thing to do. Maybe you can get an additional one-on-one lesson so our teacher can make sure that what you're doing is actually what you need and can help you customize a bit the process based on the requirement that you want to start working on minor keys instead of major keys. So to wrap up this video, you don't have to worry whether this method is going to be applicable only to major keys, because it's not. Ours is a comprehensive method that takes into account both major keys and minor keys, and later on in the course you will also find some ideas and exercises on modes, although this is not a course that teaches you modes in specific, but you will have content on that too. So if you're interested in ear training, I suggest you try out the Use Your Ear method. You will find more details about our free and paid courses on our website. You can check out the links in the description section below. In the description below, you will also find links to register for our free online workshop, which is a really valuable 3-hour-long introductory lesson to ear training and to our method in specific. It's full of valuable content, exercises, tailor-made guidelines, etc. It will show you the do's and don'ts of your training and many other things. So if you haven't seen it yet, check it out. You can register to it by clicking on the link below. Lastly, please leave a like to the video and subscribe to the channel if you like the content. That's all for this video. I thank you very much for watching and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!